Thank you, Sahari sir. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is the 1756th day of continuous webinar conducted by International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy. Today, our guest is Dr. Suraj Singh Bhadoria. Let us begin the session with 1 minute silent prayer. Thank you all. The International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy comprises of homeopathic lovers, students, and doctors. We have 3 sessions every day. The first session of the day is already over in Hindi from 7:30 to 8:30. From 8:30 to 9:30, we have the international session in English, and from 9:30 to 10:30, we have a local language session in Malayalam. We are uploading the videos of the same on the very next day itself so that those who miss the session can watch it again. You can subscribe the same without paying any money. You can share it with your friends so that homeopathy will reach everywhere. And let me come to today's guest. As you all know, today our guest is Dr. SURAJ SINGH BHADORIA. Introduced, doctor has completed MD in homeopathy and now doing PhD and working as an assistant professor, Department of Homeopathy Pharmacy, Pearl Institution of Homeopathy and Research, Vadodara, Gujarat. And Dr. Suraj Singh has done a lot of presentation in this forum, and almost all of them were connected with research and advancement of homeopathy. This is one of the area where our junior doctors need to look into and need to come up with research papers, because this is high time to show the world that homeopathy has research work, and all the research work we are doing are the backbone of our homeopathic strength. So let me come to today's subject. Doctor is talking about, is UV visible spectrometer in human blood serum? This is a big question. So let us see what Dr. Suraj Singh Bhadoria has to say. Welcome, doctor.
Good evening, sir. My voice is audible, sir.
Yes, yes, your voice is audible.
Sir, can you just share the slide, sir?
I am to share. You need myself to share.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
I need your help, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Basically, today we are going to have a very important aspect of this UV visible spectrophotometer in determining the traces of homeopathic medicines, which is ultra high diluted in the human blood serum. So, this will plays a major role in the field of evidence-based medicine, because as we know, our homeopathy is showing wonderful result in both the acute, subacute, and the chronic cases. But the WHO, World Health Organization, and the world wants evidences. They want a proof for showcasing all these results in the acute, subacute, and the chronic cases. So, in the homeopathic pharmacy, as we know, this homeopathic pharmacy is a branch of pharmacy, and it plays a major role for exploring the complete knowledge of drug. So, previously we had one research work which is based on the spectrophotometric analysis by UV visible. So, through this UV visible spectrophotometer, we are just identifying the traces of arsenic album 200 in the cases of eczema, and through this we are also showcasing the various concentration of drug substances through a different wavelength in a human blood serum. So this is our today research work. We are just going to discuss about this, what are the major criterias and what are the different advantages through this research work, because nowadays homeopathy wants strong research outcome. We know that CCRH, they are handling so many experimental designs, randomized control trial, non-randomized control trial, observational studies, and analytical studies. But again, this homeopathic pharmacy need much more analysis and much more deeper aspect of research work. So this is very important for today's session. and afterward we will discuss how this homeopathic pharmacy plays a major role. So I think this homeopathic pharmacy should not stick to only first year BHMS curriculum. It should be extended up to fourth year, and it should have a separate branch like B Farm, M Farm, and PhD at separately, so that we can make our pathy as a evidence based medicine, and we can go more and more forward and deeper in that particular sense. So this is today's session, today's research work, and we just want to conclude that part, and through this research work we can have the very good aspect of UV visible spectrophotometer, how this UV visible spectrophotometer is important for us, how it is very advantageous for the certain analytical procedure. Because when we know this analysis, so there are certain aspect of UV visible spectrophotometer. So again, this is very very important to know, and when we identified and we have a very good results in homeopathy. Yes, yes sir, this is my slide sir. You can just make this as a single slide sir. Yes sir. Next slide. Yes, sir. So the title of this research, sir, back slide. Yes. Title of this research work is to determine the drug particle in the human blood serum after the treatment with homeopathic medicine, which is constitutional based by the UV visible spectrophotometer. So here the tool is UV visible spectrophotometer. Next slide. Next slide, sir. Yes. Abstract. In this particular part, through this research work, we identify the drug particle from the simplex variety, which is arsenic album 200 in the human blood serum with the help of UV visible spectrophotometer, which is double beam. So this is our main background of the study. We are going to identify the traces of drug. So in methodology, we take the 2 ml of human blood serum before and after treatment by this homeopathic medication arsenic album 200 through the repertorization, and the sample were analyzed under the UV visible spectrophotometer, which is double beam, to determine the concentration of drug, to determine the absorption of drug. So this is our main methodology part and the background of the study. So in the result, we determine the multiple absorption peak, because in this UV visible spectrophotometer, what we are going to determine? We are going to determine the concentration of the any drug particle or any atomic or the molecular structures in the given solvent media. So here we determine the multiple absorption peaks of arsenic album 200 in between 533 to 667 nm. So this is the range of wavelength in which we determine the multiple traces of arsenic album 200. So the conclusion of this research work is we successfully determined the traces of arsenic album 200 potency, which is already ultra high diluted in the human blood serum after the treatment part with the help of UV visible spectrophotometer. Next slide. Now, this UV visible spectrophotometer, it is a type of spectrophotometer which is having a UV ultraviolet light. And this ultraviolet light, it is going to show the various absorption species and the absorptions and the various concentration of the solutions. And it can therefore be used to ascertain the absorption or the concentration of any given solution in respect of the specific path length, in respect of the different concentration, in respect of the different wavelength. So this is the UV visible spectrophotometer. It is used as a very common and the crucial analytical tool in various laboratory purpose in the pharmaceutical practices. And this application, it determines the basic concentration of any solvent or any media. So this is a UV visible spectrophotometer, and it is very easy to use and adaptability and a very precise method, and it is easily affordable. So in our university, in our PIHR Parul Institute of Homeopathy Research, we have this machine because we have MD in homeopathic pharmacy. So this is very common tool, and it is as per the curriculum. We should have that particular spectrophotometer for the student training program. Next slide. Now, when we talk about this UV visible spectrophotometer, it is generally used to determine the various impurities. It is used to clarify the various organic substances in terms of their structural pattern. It is used to quantify the material. It is used to qualify the material. It is used to analyze the various chemical substances, chemical ingredients in our solvent system. It is used for the pharmaceutical compound as a quantitative analysis. So it is very commonly and routinely used in the pharmaceutical practices, and it is also commonly used for the process of standardization. So when we talk about standardization, when we talk about the qualitative aspect, when we talk about the quantitative aspect, so this UV visible spectrophotometer plays a major role, and it is also used to determine the molecular weight. So it is very important part, and the main principle of this UV visible spectrophotometer is Bird-Lambert law. So this Bird-Lambert law deviation, it determines the basic principles of UV visible spectrophotometer. Next slide. Now, in material methodology, it is one of the analytical procedure because we use UV spectrophotometer. And the main site of this study is our homeopathic pharmacy laboratory in PIHR, Parul Institute of Homeopathy Research, Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. And it took around 1 week to complete the whole research work. And the main tool which is used for this research work is UV visible spectrophotometer. So this is a double beam because there are different types of spectrophotometer, single beam, double beam. Previously the single beam was used, but now we have this double beam. So the drug of choice is arsenic album 200, and we know this arsenic album is very commonly used for any type of inflammatory condition and any type of acute emergency. So this arsenic album is our drug of choice, and the software which we use for this spectrophotometer is a lab solution for UV vis. The version is 1.13. Instrument type is UV1900 series. So it is a model number. And generally this UV visible spectrophotometer, it run in between the wavelength of 400 to 800 nm, and the data interval is around zero point 0.5 nm. So this data interval will show the step ladder pattern of the graphical presentation in UV visible spectrophotometer in between concentration versus wavelength. So it is zero point 0.5 nanometer, and scan speed is medium because we fix medium speed. Next, in case study, we have this eczema, and it is repertorized by the homeopathic software. We use this process of repertorization to select the most simillimum medicine. Next slide. These are the symptoms in mind. They are very fastidious, they are very insecure, they have very restless mind, and in skin they have a common eruptions, burning sensation aggravated by touch. In skin eruptions, crusty brown formation, this it is a type of eruption in the eczema. In skin there is a pain after scratching. In skin there is a swelling, especially on the affected part at the lower left sided foot. And in skin there is a swelling, along with there is a pain, along with there is eruption. Stomach desire for the salty things, stomach thirst for the cold water, and amelioration by the cold drinking. The remedies which were selected after this repertorization, these are arsenic, sulfur, pulsatilla, conium, natrium mu, phosphorus, silicia, calcarea carb, thuja, merc salt, nux vomica, plumbum met, and argentum nitricum. So here you can see according to the gradation, the arsenic is our first choice of drug. So this is as per the repertorization. So we also include this repertory part: belladonna, bryonia, carbovate, causticum, cocculus, lycopodium, acidum nitricum, rustox, veratrum, and alumina. So our first drug is arsenic album through this software. Next slide. Now we prescribe this arsenic album 200 in 3 drops in half cup lukewarm water once a day because patient is very idiosyncratic. So we are not using the multiple or the repetition of doses. So we prescribe only single dose at a time in a half cup lukewarm water, and after 1 week we again repeat the same dose. The procedure is, after administration of this arsenic album, the 1 ml of human blood serum before treatment and after treatment. So we have two sample, human blood serum which is before administration of arsenic album, and a human blood serum which is after the administration of arsenic album. So we have these two sample, A and B. So these two samples were analyzed under the UV visible spectrophotometer, which is double beam, in determining the concentration of drug. Next slide. Now the results are, we determined the multiple absorption peak of arsenic album 200 in between 533 nm to 667 nm in double beam UV visible spectrophotometer. So this is our result. Now see, these are the pictures. The first picture, it is before treatment part, before administration of arsenic album. So we have one human blood serum before treatment, another one it is after treatment human blood serum. So we analyze both part A and B. Next slide. Now you can see this is the alcohol peak. Now it is just like a flattened, because alcohol there is no concentration. Why we use this peak of alcohol? Because in our medicine the 90 part, the majority of the concentration is alcohol. So but obvious, the control group is alcohol, and before reaching to the main conclusion and the result we should have the control part. So this is alcohol peak. This is in between the range of 400 to 800. You can see there are three peaks, three arrows. These are the peak of alcohol. So it is in between 400 to 500 or 500 to 600, and one peak it is in between 600 to 650. So you can see these are the very minor and very less concentration of alcohol. Next slide. Now you can see this is before treatment part. So this is, you can see, it started with 400 and with 800. The diverger is 1. The area which is covered is 0.015, and the result is 0.015. So this is before treatment of human blood serum. So you can see this peak, it is very less concentrated. Here there is no multiple peaks because there is no drug. So you can consider this part as a plain part or the before treatment part. So this is the human blood serum before administration of arsenic album 200. Next slide. Now see how much deviations and the variations are there in the peaks of UV visible spectrophotometer double beam in the human blood serum after the administration of arsenic album 200. Now see, this have a multiple peaks in between 400 to 800, but the majority peaks were determined in between the 500 to 600. So these are the multiple peaks. Now you can see when we took the ultra high dilution, because 200 is already ultra high diluted, it is above the Avogadro number 10 to the power minus 9. So when we talk about ultra high diluted, so how these peaks appear? Because it happens because of so many theories and the hypothesis behind that. The first theory is the silica hypothesis, water memory, epitaxic phenomena. So these are general hypotheses. On the basis of this hypothesis, we conclude this part, because in our ultra high dilutions, our medicines, our atoms and molecules are not visible, but we have certain memories of these molecules and atoms and the isomers and the isotopes and the ionic properties. Now these memories were carried by the water memory, and these memories were transmitted in the living entity, not only the human being, because we have agro homeopathy, we have veterinary homeopathy. So it is going to transmit it as it is, without changing in their chemical property, in their physical property, in their biological property, in their therapeutic property, as it is in the living entity. So these are the multiple peaks of arsenic album 200. Next slide. Now you can see this is very important tabular aspect of UV visible spectrophotometer. You can see in 722 the absorption is 0.1019. So this is a peak, it is not valley. There is a curvature in the UV visible. In 74150 the absorption is 0.0983. In 791 wavelength, these are the wavelengths. So in 791 you can see the absorption is 0.0867. In 767.50, the absorption is 0.0868. In 745 wavelength, the absorption is 0.0868. In 726.50, the absorption is 0.0869. In the wavelength of 707, you can see the absorption is 0.0869. In the wavelength of 688.50, the absorption is 0.0871. In the wavelength of 671, the absorption is 0.0871. Same. In the wavelength of the 654.50, the absorption is 0.0871. Same. In the wavelength of 639.50, the absorption is 0.0873. Now it slightly increased as per the wavelength of 639. In 624.50, the absorption is 0.0874. In 610.50, in 610, the absorption is 0.0874. Same. In 596.50, the absorption is 0.0875. In 584.50, the absorption is around 0.0876. In 572 wavelength, the absorption is 0.0877. In 560.50, the absorption is 0.0878. In 548.50, the absorption is 0.0880. In 537.50, the absorption is 0.0882. In 527.50, the absorption is 0.0882. In 517 wavelength, the absorption is 0.0884. In 507.50, the absorption is 0.0885. So these are the multiple peaks. So you can see the range in between the 500 to 700. You can see these multiple peaks. So it is because of that water memory. It is because of this what we can say the epitaxy phenomena. It is because of this silica hypothesis. So these all are the ranges in a different absorption, different wavelength, different peaks, different intensity, different path length. You can see, you can just compare this value. So this is very minimum concentration, but it is present because in very past years, one article published in Lancet journal. It is one of the very popular journal. So they written that homeopathy is a placebo and magic effect. It is nothing evidence based medicine. But this result falls this particular statement, because no, homeopathy is not like a placebo and a magic effect. It is based on evidence based medicine. After administration of ultra high diluted medicine, which is above Avogadro number, which is about 10 to the power minus 9, you can see this concentration. So these concentrations are the ultra high dilutions. It is a concentration of arsenic album 200 only. So these are a basic principle of this UV visible spectrophotometer, that the concentration is directly proportional to the path length and the concentration is directly proportional to the absorption. If the more concentration is there, so the more absorption is there. If the more path length is there, so more absorption is there. So this is the Bird-Lambert law. This is the basic principle of this UV visible spectrophotometer. Next slide. Now, the conclusion of this study is we successfully determined the drug particle, which is a simplex variety. Here we are not using the ointment based external application along with the deep constitutional or the homeopathic medicine. We only use arsenic album. And in the local application, we have a plain coconut oil. So this is successfully determination of simplex variety of homeopathic medicine, arsenic album 200, ultra high diluted in the human blood serum by the help of UV visible spectrophotometer, which is double beam. So this is our main conclusion. Next part. Now there is no such conflict of interest, and again we are very thankful to the Parul University, to the Micro Nano Lab, to Center of Research and Development in the Parul University, to Gujarat for providing such a huge platform to complete our research work. Not only completing this work, to also motivate others, motivate our UG students, motivate our PG students, PhD students, and to also complete and publish this work in the international ground. Next slide. Now these are our references. Through this we complete this research work based on UV visible spectrophotometer. It is very simple analytical procedure. It is not like more sophisticated and very sensitive instrument. It is nowadays easily available in any type of analytical lab, any type of research work. So this is very easily available, easy to use, and very informative for qualitative and quantitative data procedure. Next slide. Now this is our publication. We published this research work in the International Journal of Chemical Research and Development in 2025 in 7th volume, issue number 1. Page number is 97 to 103. So here the title is determining the drug particle in the human blood serum after treatment with homeopathic medication by UV visible spectrophotometer. And you can just see this research work. It is not only entertained and felicitated by a homeopathic journal. It is published in the multidisciplinary journal, because we have to understand this thing whenever we do the integration approach, whenever we do the publication in the integrated subjects or the areas. So we are easily facilitating the faculties and the beauty and the research work and the experimentation of our homeopathic sciences in other pathy, because that we don't want only homeopathic background. We want a collaboration with the multidisciplinary, we want the collaboration with the multiple faculties, we want the collaboration with the allied sciences, with the modern pharmacy. So this is very very important. Yesterday we had one meeting in our college. This is online hybrid mode. So we were discuss about the clinical trial. So the clinical trial, these are a very, what we can say, a very basic for any type of research work. But before going into the clinical trial, first we have to enter into the phase 0 study. So what is phase 0 study? This phase 0 study, it is all this analytical and all the in vitro study, the cell line study, the in situ study, the in vivo study, animal study. So first we have to focus on that phase 0 study. When we focus on that particular part, so we would complete the toxicity analysis, we would complete the posology part, the specificity, the precise method in our homeopathic preparation. Afterward, definitely we can enter into the clinical phase or the clinical part. So this is very very important to understand the beauty of pharmacy in our medical science, in any science, not only homeopathy. Either we talk about Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, modern pharmacy, modern pharmacology. So this pharmacy is very very important. So we have to understand the basic parameters of pharmacy. We have to understand the basic parameter of standardization. We have to understand the basic protocol for drug proving, which is homeopathic pathogenetic trial. So previously we proved our medicine only in human beings, but now we have agro-homeopathy, we have veterinary sciences. So we are also going to showcase our drug proving and the efficacy of our medicine and the drug substances in living entity also, and in plants also, in animals also. So these are very preliminary and very important aspect. So by this we can know the toxicity, by this we can determine the dosage, and afterward definitely we have the evidence-based medicine. So this is a very important research work. It is very small, but in our India, when we talk about our country in India, this is first time from the Parul University, from the Faculty of Research and Development Center in the Parul University, from the Micro Nano Lab. We completed this research work with simple instrument, which is UV visible spectrophotometer double beam in the human blood serum, with the drug choice of arsenic album along with the repertorization. So this is first time we completed this work and also published this in an international platform to showcase the beauty of homeopathy and make our pathy as a evidence-based medicine. Thank you, sir. I
Thank
think we have more time, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. We have
Yes.
more time for discussion. And really, a very good session indeed. And as we know that the research is one of the area where each and every homeopath need to look into, because this is the time, this is the high time to show the world that homeopathy is scientific, and to make sure that this our system is doing excellent job in curing the patients, and not simply managing the patient, I would say, because it is the only system which can cure the patient. Cure, as we used to say that when a patient is recovered from a disease, the condition is just not simply improved, but he is totally back to health, physically as well as mentally, and there is no need of continuation of medication. Then only we can say that the disease is the person is back into health. Otherwise, it is not health. So, in those conditions, when people used to say that homeopathy is sort of science and disease not working in the scientific research methods. But people like Dr. SURAJ Singh BHADORIA, and research fraternities or National Council of Homeopathy, all are research associates and the Council of Research doing excellent job in publishing papers on different subjects, showing the world that homeopathy is as pure science. But today, your presentation was entirely different from that. Actually, last time you showed that the blood serum itself is a medicine like that. So all these research papers are being published, and when reached to the people around the world, homeopathy will get appreciation. Thank you, Dr. Suraj, for such a beautiful session. What's your opinion on all these things, Doctor?
Sir, basically, what we want from this homeopathic pharmacy, we just started this research work from the analytical procedure. Because in our standardization, we have various tools, sir, like UV visible spectrophotometer, we have micro nano, this electron microscope, SEM and TEM, we have this HPTLC, HPLC, GCMS, we have this, what we can say, mass spectrophotometer, we have this what we can say Raman spectroscopy. So these all are very sensitive and the sophisticated instrument. So first we have to focus on the molecular sciences, because ultimately our medicines are already alcohol diluted, they are travel and they have a certain dynamic theory. So we want to prove that, we want to show some evidences on the basis of this dynamic theory. So first we have to start our work with the mother tincture, because mother tincture, these are the basic one. From this mother tincture, as the name suggests, mother, so it is going to produce the further potencies, 30, 1m, 10m. So first we have to focus our work on mother tinctures. So we have to standardize our mother tincture properly with the specific and the precise method. So we have to know about the molecular dimensions, we have to know about the various isomers, we have to know about the various isotopes, we have to know about the where molecular dimensions and the pattern of arrangement of atoms in our mother tincture. Then afterward we can jump into the salt or the biochemic system, because this Suzzler theory, this cell tissue remedy, it also plays a major role in the molecular sciences, because it is totally based on the attenuation or the trituration. So when we talk about this salt, so again they have a certain composition of the molecules and the atomic structures. So afterward, when we go for about 12x, 30, 200, 1m, 10m, then we have a certain spectrophotometer, like this UV visible spectrophotometer. So this is very shocking result. Even though we are not confident about this spectrophotometer, that after this application we have this number of absorption peak in the human blood serum. So this is a very simple instrument. It is not very too much sensitive and sophisticated. But yes, this UV visible spectrophotometer, they identify certain concentration of our drug substance, even though they are alcohol diluted. So this is very very important part. So in our phase 0 study, we want to complete that experimentation. We want to showcase the various molecular dimensions and various traces of our drug substances in any given potency in living entity. When we prove that, then definitely when we talk about clinical variety or the clinical trial phase 1, 2, 3, 4, so we will have a certain specific methodology or the procedure through which we can showcase the efficacy of our drug substances, efficacy of our ultra high dilutions, efficacy of our mother tinctures, which are based on the concentration. So this we want to conclude this important aspect of research work in our homeopathy. And afterward, definitely we will have this in vitro study. Last to last session, we would also discuss about nanoparticles. So yes, nanoparticles, they are also plays a major role. See, our medicines having no nanoparticles because they are above the Avogadro number. They are above the 10 to the power minus 9. So what we are going to do? We are creating certain mass in our ultra high dilutions. Why we are creating certain mass? Because when we talk about pharmacology, PD and PK model, that is pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic. So suppose I have one species of rat, Vistar variety of male rat. Suppose if I administered arsenic album 200, which is already ultra high diluted, in the same model for any given disease condition or the pathology. So for PD and PK model, it is very unknown origin. We are unable to explain more in a precise or in a specific manner, except mother tincture. So what we are going to do, we are creating certain mass or nanomass in our ultra high dilution in terms of nanoparticles. And when we synthesize these nanoparticles by different methodology like chemical procedure, physical procedure, biological procedure, there are different process for creating and synthesizing it. So after synthesizing these nanoparticles, we showcase this different dimension and the structure of nanoparticles from mother tincture to 1M. Last to last session, we have this mother tincture, we have this 30 potency, 1M potency. So these are already discussed in our this IFPH forum. So this nanoparticles, it is another aspect of showcasing the evidence-based medicine in our homeopathy. And afterward, we are just going to compare this efficacy of nanoparticles along with the efficacy of ultra high dilution along with the efficacy of mother tincture, so that we can conclude some evidences and what we can say the pharmacological aspect of our homeopathic medicine. Otherwise, this pharmacology, the PD and PK model, the pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic, it is still question mark. When we talk about MD homeopathic pharmacy syllables, so when we taught this specific pharmacology subject to our PG homeopathic pharmacy students, so again we are having certain lacunas, we have certain gaps, because it is as per the modern pharmacology and modern pathy, it is 100%. But in our homeopathy, we don't know about the shelf life concept, we don't know about the molecular dimensions, we don't know about the isomeric structures in ultra high dilutions. So this is very difficult and very challenging for us. So to overcome such challenges, we started this research work. And this research work is not only by me, it is by my UG students from BHMS first year, second year, third year, fourth year interns and PG students also. Not only the MD homeopathic pharmacy students, organon department also, repertory department also. Suppose if I want to conclude the repertorization through this example also. So the repertory students, they help us to repertorize, to select the rubrics, to hunt the rubrics, to select the simillimum. So that is their part. So we conclude this part by UG students, by PG students and PhD also, so that we have a heterogeneity, we have a very big chain of our researcher, and we can conclude our homeopathy as one of the best science. And literally it is not pseudoscience. In Wikipedia you can just see homeopathy is said to be a pseudoscience, it is said to be alternative medicine. So it is not a pseudoscience and it is not alternative medicine. The problem is the biggest gap in our curriculum, sorry to say this, again in our new CBDC, in our new CBDC program by NCH, there are so many things, there are so many modifications, but still homeopathic pharmacy subject, it is only in first year. The repertory subject and other materia medica subject, organon subject, it is started with the first year. But when we talk about pharmacy subject, so it is only first year. After 4 year and after 5.5 year, people forget about the process of potentization. Forget about this potentization, even though they don't know about the dispensing of mother tincture, dispensing of mother solution, dispensing of mother powder. So these are very basic things. So I think we have to conclude this homeopathic pharmacy subject from first to fourth year and separate this system as a M Pharm, B Pharm, diploma. We have this now in homeopathic pharmacy. There are certain institute which run this diploma in homeopathic pharmacy. But again, we want to have a more and more modification in this homeopathic pharmacy subject, and we want to conclude that part. And again, we have another parameter, that is publication. In everywhere, in every university which are NAC accredited, they want only Scopus publication. They want only Web of Science publication, the SCI journal. But I think rather than this Scopus, Web of Science, SCI, the important thing is citations. Suppose if I pay 15,000 and 20,000 rupees to any journal, any Scopus journal and Web of Science journal, and suppose if it is not related with my mainstream, suppose if it is related with like Journal of Neonatal Surgery, so they publish any article, they accept, they have your money and they publish it. So that is not our main motto. Our citation is still zero. So citation is like a number of people, they are referring our article or our research work in their research orientation, so it increases your citation. So when we publish any our research work in a multidisciplinary area or related with our domain in the multi, or what we can say, the modern pharmacology, so definitely our citation is going to increase. So this Scopus and the Web of Science, the SCI journal, these are not our main criteria. Our main criteria is to increase the citation of our research. If our citations are increases, then definitely it would be like more than Scopus, Web of Science and SCI journal. That's why in last in February 2025, UGC discontinue Group 1 journal. So what are the reason? They discontinue Group 1 journal to promote the peer review journals. So these are their criteria, and this notice is passed by the Supreme Court. So we have to understand first what is publication, what is the necessity of publication, because in many university unwantedly they want Scopus, they want Web of Science, they want SCI journal, but they are not focusing on the citations score. They are just have a particular category of Scopus. So this is not our main, and it is not only the main of any researcher. The main aim is to increase the value of our research. The main aim is to increase our citation, our HI index, our site score, and to publish our research work in a multiple and in a multidisciplinary area, so that it can facilitate in a worldwide, it can appreciated in a worldwide, it can accepted in a worldwide, and it can also go more and move forward by one generation to another generation. So this we want to conclude that part in our forum, and we definitely want to conclude more and more upcoming research work through this IFPH forum, to showcasing the beauty of our homeopathy, to showcase this homeopathy as a evidence-based medicine, not a pseudoscience, not a alternative medicine. And we also want to conclude a very big and the huge chain of our homeopathic fraternity to have a very good research work, so that we want from this IFPH forum, and we are very thankful for that.
Yes, exactly. We IFBH is finding it very important, giving much importance to the promotion of research work in our junior doctors of the seniors, because as you all know that most of the seniors are concentrating in their practice and they are not even able to publish their successful cases. If all of us publish at least one case in a year, that we can have at least 2 lakh, more than 2 lakh cases in a year. But unfortunately, this is not happening. So it is high time to come up with such research work, such publications from all the doctors, whether it be an acute case or a chronic case. But most of us are getting chronic cases. But those chronic cases need to be published. Then only, not only publish, but we have to find some media to publish the same to reach the public. So that's the reason why the International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy is doing continuous webinar for the last 1,750 days. And so the purpose is to promote homeopathy as well as to show the world that what homeopaths are doing around the world. So the doctors, the calibrate, SURAJ Singh BHADORIA are doing excellent job in that. And we are very proud of you people because whenever we ask you to come here and present some papers, you always come with such research about. This is the beauty of you people, and we really appreciate your effort. And we are with you in doing all, giving you all kind of support from outside as well as inside. And we will arrange any kind of support we need from the government also for because our Central Council of Homeopathy as well as National Council of Homeopathy are the people that help giving wonderful support to IFPH also. And this is the time for a discussion, and those who want to participate in this discussion can participate. I'm inviting Dr. Boblin to say a few words. Dr. Boblin, please unmute yourself and you can speak. And there is another doctor, Dr. Masood. He is doing a great research work with agriculture and homeopathy. Dr. Masood, you can speak for a while. Yes, Dr. Bob has arrived, and once Dr. Bob has spoken, then you can.
I'd like
Yes.
to congratulate Dr. Suraj Singh for his enthusiasm in doing this research, on the using high technology in relation with the UE visible spectrophotometer. I think this is something that we have to look into because our homeopathic dilutions are in nanoparticles, so in parts per million. So it would be great that we can detect the level of the potency, like you say about so this can start from 6C to 30C, whether it's still present in the blood serum. So I think this is a very good machine spectral photometer, and using the UV. It's very good. Then we can have the tumbling for the various potency later, which I'm sure you would note down and publish later. And it's going to be a very tough job and delicate job for you. And I'd like to say congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Our next goal is, sir, we just compare the different families and the different groups of homeopathic medicines by different this what we can say the aspect of UV visible spectrophotometer double beam in a different potency, as you said, 3x, 6x, 12x, 30, 200, 1m, 10m, so that we can have the comparative analysis. We can have this comparison of UV visible spectrophotometer, the quantification, the qualification of our drug substances in the human blood serum. So our next target is to select the different medicines from the different kingdom and the families. After selecting this particular family and the particular medicine from that particular group, we compare their wavelength, their intensity, their concentration to each other, so that we can have some more evidences in our homeopathic pharmacy and in our homeopathy.
Dr. Bob, is it clear? Dr. Bhumia, if you want to ask something, you can ask. Dr. Bhumia is asking whether the studies are available in public or not. Dr. Bhumia, want to speak? Then you can speak now. If you submit yourself, then you can come out without video. No. She's asking a question that can we get this study? I think the study just told about the Dr. Masud, please. Yes, please unmute. Please unmute. Dr. Masud is our homeopathy. He is doing excellent work in research in agriculture. He has published 2 books on that also. Yes, Masud, you can speak.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I didn't completely heard your class, but even I want to know. I have a question that please. How you were information at last conclusion. There is evidence of arsenic in serum. Is it? Then how much is there any quantity observed, or how was the 200 potency where there the arsenic presence? Certainly there will not be anything within this 200 potency, but even this research after this solution in the serum, you got the evidence of presence or any molecular evidence. What is it? I want to clear one. Second one, the amount from where it is got. Is it from the 200 potency or somewhere else from other source? The blood serum collected it and showed. Is it another? This is the another one. Next one, the quantity. If we are using very micro amounts, even then the quantity which is we will get in a result will be in another more. What is about? Can you please explain? I didn't
So
hear your class.
yes, sir. So first thing is, sir, when we talk about UV visible spectrophotometer, so it is basically talk and it is working on the Bird-Lambert law. So this is a concentration of that particular drug substances. So the concentration of that ultra high dilutions, so it plays a major role in this spectrophotometric analysis. So when we have this UV spectrophotometer in the human blood serum, so before treatment part, as we know, we have 2 samples, A and B, before treatment and after treatment. So in before treatment, you can see there are only one peak with the very minimum concentration, having no multiple peaks. But after administration, we have the multiple peaks in a different wavelength, in a different concentration. So this micro and the multiple peaks, when we talk about ultra high dilutions, so they are just in terms of the epitaxy phenomena, in terms of the Wetton memory, in terms of the plausibility phenomena, in terms of the silica hypothesis, because these all are the hypotheses. So these all are talk about the beauty of ultra high dilution. So these are the multiple peaks. So these peaks are because of arsenic album. So when we have a particular, what we can say, a marker for that particular drug substance, so we can compare this with the marker also. But unfortunately this arsenic album marker, because it is mineral group, it is metallic, so this marker plays a major role. So our next goal is to compare this result with the marker of this particular medicine in same human blood serum with the same potency. And the second thing is, when we talk about the collection mode, so definitely it is a biological sample. Suppose if we have the saliva, if we have some other biological sample, if we have some other what we can say, a sample from the living entity, so these are definitely showcasing the traces of our medicinal part. Because when we talk about the culture and sensitivity test, because it is very commonly and routinely used in the modern pharmacology, so this will plays a major role while collecting the biological sample from the human. And the third important thing is, this UV visible spectrophotometer. There are some other spectrophotometer, like when we talk about the vibrational frequency, so we have Raman spectroscopy. So this Raman spectroscopy, it is introduced and founded by Dr. C.V. Raman. So this Raman spectroscopy will give you the differences in their vibrational frequency of arsenic in this particular human blood serum. So you can also conclude that part in the Raman spectroscopy. And the another, the most important aspect is, we are not only just concluding this research work with UV visible spectrophotometer. We are also completing this research work with the SEM, scanning electron microscope, which is a type of electron microscope. So through this scanning electron microscope, we also have a certain molecular weight of this arsenic in the human blood serum after the administration, after the treatment part. So in next forum, in next time when we have this particular what we can say day for this research orientation, we will definitely showcase our another research work which is also published in an international journal. So that is based on SAM analysis, same disease condition with the same drug of choice, that is arsenic album, with the same potency 200, but the instrument is SAM. So in this scanning electron microscope, we also showcase the molecular weight of arsenic after the treatment part in the human blood serum. So from this message, from this pathway, we can definitely say yes, this multiple peaks in our conclusion part, it is only because of the arsenic. It is not because of some other carbon and the oxygen and some other basic constituent element. It is because of only arsenic. So we have this two dimension. One is by the spectrophotometer, another one is SAM analysis. So yes, this part is concluded by both the aspects.
Oh, okay, Dr. Suraj Singh, it's time to wind up the session. I'm inviting Dr. Bob Lim to say a vote of thanks to the session. Dr. Bob?
Thank you, Dr. Danesh. On behalf of the IFPH, the International Forum for the Promoting of Homeopathy, I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Suraj Singh, isn't it? Did I pronounce properly? Dr. Suraj Singh Bhadoria for successfully conducting this uninterrupted webinar, 1756 uninterrupted webinar by IFPH. And thank you very much once again. We hope to have you present in our webinar in the future and for your latest research. Thank you once again. Over to you, Dr. Danish.
Thank you, Dr. Bob Lim and Dr. Suraj Singh Bhadoria, and those who attend the session in this evening. And tomorrow we will have a session from Dr. V.K. Karunakar. He is an MD and a medical officer working in Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, and the subject of discussion will be practical difficulties in implementation of case guidelines and its impact on cure in homeopathy. So another big subject is to be discussed tomorrow. Hope all of you will be joining us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
It's over to Dr. Maria to moderate the Malayalam session.